There was this religious crisis that broke out in Zaria. As I was coming in, I saw the people that were selling kose, akara and stuff outside the gate, running inside. And we're hearing faint cries of Allah, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. So as I entered the gate, they closed the gate. I can't explain it, but I know that as I was running to my hostel, I lost weight to the point where my underwear was falling off. I had to use one hand to grab the underwear like this, the other one to hold my bag, to run, to be able to get into my hostel before those people got in there. But you see, they came in and they unleashed their mayhem on the campus. In our church, we evangelize every Sunday, and you find that sometimes when you go out on this evangelism drives, there are other churches too who are evangelizing, and you find a situation where you can see me talking to this person, but because you just must come and insert yourself in that conversation, from another denomination, you come in there and you're giving the person the track. I'm thinking, a house divided against itself will not stand. So sometimes we ourselves, who call ourselves Christians, we ourselves who are the pastors, are the problem. Timi, there's one whole church, one building like this that has 3 floors. There's a church on each floor from the same denomination. From the same denomination on each, but different provinces on each floor.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Life Moments with Timi. Please like, share, subscribe. God bless you.
Good day, everybody. You're welcome to another amazing episode of Life Moments with Timi. My name is Oluwa Timileyin Ayekiitan, and today I've brought you another great guest. And I've been thinking of how to bring her on all this while, but I just wanted the episode or the season to kick off and be rolling before I bring her up. I call her my mommy. Pastor Araba Akoni. Can we just... Mommy, you're welcome. Mommy, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
I know the struggle it has been today for us to even get started up and all that. And thank you for your patience. And thank you to the crew out there that is also helping. And let's kick off.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So, Mommy, is there a way you like to be introduced?
Araba Akoni. My name is Araba Akoni.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. You know that we were saying something like we still get to doctor, pastor, doctor.
Yes. I was thinking about that. This morning, that I had set goals for myself that by the time I was 50, I was going to have my PhD.
Okay.
But I'm 57 now.
Gang.
And that PhD is not looking like it's anywhere in sight.
Because I know we are discussing.
we have to rework that vision. We have to rework it and see how we put it.
And see how we can. But it's still there. Honorary one bell.
It's still there. And yes, but I'd really like to work for it. Maybe, maybe I'd like to work for it. But honorary, it's okay. If you have honorary one, you can give me the one that you're not using. You can bring
the one I'm not using.
You can bring it.
Because
you can bring it.
Funny enough, I discussed the issue of doing a PhD, but I was just like, for what reason? It's because.
That's exactly the question I asked myself this morning. That why exactly do you want that PhD? Is it just because you want to have a doctor in front of your name, or do you need it for career advancement? So when I answer that question, I'll know whether I'm going to completely throw out the idea of the PhD and do something else that will help me in my life and ministry.
Okay.
So I need to answer that question myself.
I think it's something that all of us need to just put on. But going to you, Mommy, I don't know if anybody really knows about your background. If you can just do a quick recap of your background, how you grew up, and all that.
Okay. So my name is Araba Akoni. I was born into a Muslim family. My father was, because he's late now, half Fulani and half... my father was half Fulani Nigeria, half Fulani Chad, because his mom was from Chad. His father was Fulani from the north Nigeria. My mother was from, because she's late as well, from Ijebu. So I'm half caste really. My half caste has plenty blood that is running through, because my mother's mother was Nupe. She was Takpa. So I have a lot of. I'm a detribalized Nigerian. So
you are the real Nigerian.
And I'm the real Nigeria. I'm the real Nigeria. So I cannot. When people say things like they want Nigeria to break up, I say,
where will you
if
go?
Nigeria breaks, where are we going to go? Because my younger sister, incidentally, is married to an Igbo man. You know, same thing as my younger brother. My older sister is married to an Abekuta man. I married an Yoruba man. So we are everywhere in this Nigeria. We are fully, we are fully represented. So I was born in Kano. I grew up in Kano. We came to Lagos when I was about 9. I went to university in Zaria, and then okay, so that's pretty much it. And I got born again in 1985. Yeah, after my A levels. You know, I knew I was going to be a Christian before I finished A level, but I wanted to do some things I'm not sure I really want to talk about. So I negotiated with God that I know that I'm going to be a Christian.
Give me
I'd
time.
like to take 1 year. I like to take 1 year to experiment certain things first. So I'm coming. And so when I finished experimentation, 85 like this, I gave my life to Christ. You know, and God has been faithful. You know, I'm married. Yeah, married to a wonderful man who still calls me baby after 31 years. I have 2 beautiful children, adult children, and a lovely, lovely grandson. So that's...
Has God not been good?
That's pretty much. God has been faithful.
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 You know, the first time I knew that you were born into a Muslim home, I think that day, I'm trying to remember it now. I think either I was in Kano or after I came back from Kano, we're discussing and you were like, oh.
I think it was when you went to Kano.
Yeah, you were not like,
when you went to Kano
oh,
to serve,
you grew up in Kano.
Serve. Yeah.
I'm like, you grew up in Kano?
I was born in Kano. Yeah.
I'm like, how? We're now even discussing like, oh, Ibrahim
Taiwo
yes,
Road,
and all those things. I'm like,
yes.
Hey,
yeah,
that's serious.
Airport Road, which was where my school was. I went to St. Louis Private School, Kano, which was on Airport Road.
And
really, all those years,
I did not know before
now.
then. It's really deep. Then when I hear you speak outside, I'm like, okay.
Half of the house we've used it to eat Nigerian jollof rice.
But at least
we're still trying.
But growing up,
we're still trying.
So I can say you're a first generation Christian.
Yes.
But you don't even give me the vibe of a first generation Christian. Most of the time, the first generation Christians are people that they belong to the warfare generation. They are trying to break every breakable and lose every losable because they feel that they are coming because there's still PTSD of the fact that they are coming from from the Shongos and the Oyas of this world. So, but
in our own case, coming from Islam.
Exactly.
Like I said, my father was the grandson of an imam. So growing up, before we left Kano, we were already going to Islamic school. In fact, my name is Amina. You know, Amina. I had gone to Mecca with my mom, one of her trips to Mecca. I had actually visited Mecca with my mom. You know, so we were already going to Arabic school in Kano, and we were writing on the allo, writing on the slates, writing the Arabic alphabets. Yeah, we were already doing that before we left Kano. You know, so first generation Christian. My mother was from a Christian home, but when she married my dad, she changed what's that thing, Wonka or whatever, you know, and she got a Muslim named Zainab as well. Although she told me at the end of her life, towards the end of her life, when she was much older, she told me that when I asked her that, how come you don't understand the Arabic language and all of that? She said that all those times she used to pray because she was a Hajjah. She had gone to Mecca. She went to Mecca 4 times. She was Hajjah Young Sidi. That Young Sidi was my maiden name. You know, very exotic name, Young Sidi. You know, so she went to Mecca like 4 times. So when I asked her that, why wasn't she said that she cannot speak any. She doesn't know the Quran. She cannot read it. That she used to pray. That's how she used to pray. But you know that when Muslims pray, they don't pray out.
Exactly.
You know, they pray like under their breath. So she was able to deceive them all the years that she was married to my dad.
Wow.
So when she left, when she and my dad, they were separated. They were separated when I was when we came from Kano. They were separated. There was a separation that caused us to leave Kano. We came to Lagos with my mom. You know, so she went back to her own Anglican church. You know, she went back to Anglican church. She removed her gold tooth. You know, so but then she became very upset with us when we became born again. It was my older sister that got born again first.
Okay.
You know, and so when she started with and she was very SU-ish, you know, not wearing of earrings, not doing this, not doing that. My mother was like, Imaleni Babayi, your father is a Muslim. So if you do not want to practice Islam, then you will follow me to my church, which is the Anglican church.
Okay.
And if you don't want to do Anglican church, then you sit down at home. So we started praying. So we were really praying too, because we had a lot of things we were contending with. You know, I remember there was a day that we went into my mother's house, my mother's room, and we removed every artifact, all those things that they used to give mothers that are looking to protect their daughters, all those oil, water, everything. We packed everything out, you know, and put them outside the house and did a bonfire. We poured kerosene on it and lit it up. And we were singing, "Only Jesus can save." On a Sunday afternoon, when my mother came in, you know, she was wondering, what is this children are looking very funny, because we were all sitting down waiting for the hammer to descend when she gets back. And she was like, she opened her wardrobe, she didn't see this oil. She opened this place, she didn't see this soap. What's going on? She was really angry. But you see, in all of that, we pray. At the end of the day, my mother herself got born again. I remember when she got born again.
She got born again.
Oh, she got born again. Oh, she wasn't born again before. Going to Anglican church, she wasn't born again. She was just following going through the motions. Yeah. She wasn't born again. My mother asked me about speaking in tongues, and I explained to her, and then she got baptized in the Holy Spirit.
Wow. You
know, my mother would ask me about tithe. What do you mean by this? All this while I was not pastor yet too. You know, she would ask me about tithe, and I'll explain to her. She started paying her tithe till she died. She was faithfully paying her tithe. You know, and she was a very, very heavy giver. So that can I shock you? My dad too got born again before he died.
Ooh.
Because it was a prayer point. I kept praying. My father disowned all of us when we became born again. No? He disowned all of us. That the Quran says it's better for you not to have children than to have arnes. That's infidels. Okay. You know, so he disowned us.
And then you were in uni, right?
I kept praying for him. Yes, I was in 85 was when I finished my A levels, and I went to uni. I went to Zaria in 85. Yes, 86. So we kept on praying for him. I kept on praying for him, and I kept reminding God that your word says we will be saved with our household. And I kept praying for him. But it looked as if it could never happen. It looked as if it could never, ever happen. My father was an only boy. So you can imagine that, you know, how can an only boy now say that he's
the scepter of the religion?
Yeah. Can you imagine that? You know, so but we kept praying, and God is faithful. One day we just got a call from Kanu that my father had knelt down in front of a woman and had given his life to Christ. Oh, my joy knew no bounds. I was so happy. And then he died like 1.5 years after that. You know, he would go to BBC and listen to the Bible on BBC, you know. And that's, you know, it was amazing. It was you know.
God is faithful. You see,
God is faithful. God is faithful.
One of the things that you've drawn our attention to is the fact that we must continue in intercession for families.
Yeah.
And we should not look away.
Intercession.
Because He works. He works.
It works. He works. He did. We kept praying for him. We kept praying for him that God, my father must be saved. My father must be saved. And God saved him. God saved him. So, and then the funny thing is, when he died, my cousin, I don't know how viral this thing is going to go. God will help me. My cousin was the assistant Grand Cadi of Kano State. My father's younger sister's son. So when my dad died in Kano, you know, all of us were in Lagos. All of us, his children, were in Lagos. And so when he died, my mom was like, we cannot go because they are waiting for us. You, that is Amina, that is now Araba. Okay, now, they are waiting for you. You know, so we couldn't go. We didn't go for my father's funeral. Of course, they buried him under 24 hours, according to Muslim rites. Because the people that buried him themselves did not know that he had changed faith.
Ooh, that's
you know, so I know that there are going to be a lot of surprises in heaven. There are lots of people that we do not even know are born again, and we will know only when we get to heaven.
I totally agree, because I say that regularly, that you think that people are not born again. A lot of people gave their life to Christ.
Yeah.
Dying moments and all that. And some it was even in the hospital.
Then some don't. Yes, and then some do not have the boldness to come out and declare their faith.
Exactly.
Which is okay. You know, God did not put that as a condition of us making heaven.
Exactly.
That you have to be saved and declare your faith. He didn't put it there as a condition. So if you want to be an undercover Christian.
But if you do not declare it, Angel Gabriel will stop you.
If you want to, so if you want to be an undercover Christian, it's okay. Just be saved. That's the thing. Just be saved.
Be saved. So I like the whole fact that we've touched on your background. I'm sure for those that did not know before, now you know, and you're hearing it
Now
firsthand.
you know.
Firsthand
From the horse's mouth.
from mommy herself. And so now you are saved. You're in Lagos. You finished from Zaria. How was Christianity in Zaria for you?
Christianity. When I went to Zaria,
Yeah.
when I went to Zaria, I backslid for 1 whole year.
Year one.
First time, for 1 whole year, yes, I backslid. First time being away from home. I didn't go to boarding school while I was in secondary school.
Okay.
So first time away from home, you can imagine the freedom. Look at all manner of boys and all manner of people all over. I don't have to answer to anybody. So I backslid for 1 whole year. But you see, the mercy of God, it was that same time that there was this religious crisis that broke out in Zaria. That they came into the campus and I had gone out for dinner that night. I'd gone out on a date that night. And I was coming back into campus and I saw lit lanterns, with lights all over the place. Because the way our school was positioned, for those who know Zaria, the Congo campus, the way the gate is positioned is like a valley. So you could see like the top of what was going on up there. I saw lights, people coming with lights. And as I was coming in, I saw people that were selling kose, akara and stuff outside the gate, running inside. And we're hearing faint cries of Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. So as I entered the gate, they closed the gate, and they realized that these were people who were coming into the gate, coming into the campus to harm people. Do you know that I lost weight? I can't explain it, but I know that as I was running to my hostel, I lost weight to the point where my underwear was falling off. I had to use one hand to grab the underwear like this, the other one to hold my bag, to run, to be able to get into my hostel before those people got in there. But you see, they came in and they unleashed their mayhem on the campus. They cracked the skull of the chaplain, what's his name now, Benuruma. They cracked his head, the chaplain. They were doing all sorts of things. But you see, our SU sisters too did not, they won't take it easy. They had kerosene bombs that they made, and it was amazing. It was wonderful. But you see, one of the things that experience taught me is that if you're not serious with God, you can never tell when your faith will be put to test. So after that experience, that was the end of backsliding for me, because I now decided to take my faith seriously. To take my faith. And one of the reasons that it made it easy for me to backslide, really, truth be told, was because we had a lot of passion and zeal at the point at which I got born again, but there was no word. There was really no word. There was no foundation, nothing to latch onto. There was no anchor. Do you understand? So after all that crisis and everything, we came to Lagos during that crisis and we went back to school. I decided to take my faith seriously, and then from then on, God has helped me. There has been no turning back. There has been no turning back.
So now, you see, the experience that you've described is something that maybe someone that was born in the West will never experience. You understand? So it now shows why there seemed to be a clear distinction with people that either grew up in the north and
in the north,
fought through Christianity in the north. It's just like
or even came from Islam. Exactly. We take things very seriously.
Yes, it seems like
if you see anybody converting, they take things seriously, because the religion that you're coming from does not have mercy. And so when you come into a religion, you come into a faith, a lifestyle that is preaching mercy, preaching love. One of my friends that I spoke to, who is a Christian he's a Christian, but he's Fulani too, from Kanu. When I was talking to him about Christ, what got him interested was when I talked about the love of God, because he had never in all his life heard about the love of God. What is love? There's no such thing called
fire.
There's no such
fire,
thing called
brimstone.
love. Justice. There's no such thing called love. So when I talked about the love of God, he said, really? He talked about love. I'd not changed my name to Araba. I said, really? So he followed me to church the following Sunday, and then he gave his life to Christ. Until today, this is like almost 30 years on, he's still a Christian. So there's no people that are coming from Islam or people that are coming from the north. They're not
play
physical about their faith. They're not like a they don't play. They're not like a daisical. They take this thing seriously, because we understand the kind of we seem to understand better than those in the West or those in the South the sacrifice that was made for us. During that crisis, Timi, there was a particular guy in main campus, Samaru, that was hiding behind his door. When the people came in, they were raiding the hostels and they were killing people and doing all sorts of things. They entered his room. He was hiding behind the door. in his dormitory. All right, you know, they opened the door, they looked in like this, they didn't see him, and they went out. He was a Christian behind the door. God protected, God blinded them. They did not. You see live miracles. You see, I saw a guy that was walking on campus. He had a dagger in his head. I know that there's no way he would have survived that, because by the time they pull out the thing that was damming the blood, he's going to have an aneurysm or something, or whatever. All sorts of things happened, though. All sorts of things. You see, at that time, I could not boldly come out and say that I'm a Christian myself, because they were asking us to be reciting Asalatu Goma Goma and reciting the whatever on the roads to give them free pass. It was, just know that Christians from that side, or people that are coming from Islam, will not take Christianity lightly. It is those of you in Lagos that are...
Mommy says those of us. I went to Kano. Me too. I served in Kano.
The Christianity you experienced in Kano is different from the one that you experienced in Akure.
I totally agree.
Two of us.
I totally agree. Because recently I was talking to my mom, and we're talking about even evangelism in the north. And I told her that all the times we went, even for evangelism, we're not allowed to say Jesus. And looking back now, it's as though we did not really do evangelism. Yes, because what we were just doing was humanitarian services. You'll
be surprised. Even if it's just one word. Like I said, the word love was what converted my friend. You know, even if it's just love that you say, you can. It is not your work. It's not our work. Our role is not to convert people.
True.
Our role is not to convict them. It's just to sow the seed and then let God do His work. It's just to sow the seed and let God. You can never tell what you've done. When you get to heaven, like I said now, you will see people who will be calling your name. That thank God for you. Thank God for what you said.
That's the prayer. That's the prayer, because we were there. I'm sure if I look through my archive, I still have a picture of how we dealt with Almajiri kids and all those. There was a particular night. We had someone on the guitar. We just got stirred up. It was two things. It's either a revival will break that night, or they will kill us that night, because we were already singing and chanting. Though we were trying to remix some of the songs and not put Yesu out there, and we're still trying to do God and everything.
Low key.
I'm telling you, at a point, the General Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship then, that's his, if I can remember now, is Zabayo. We call them Uncle. He looked at me and signaled me, because I was in the center of it all. And when he did like a signal, I knew that he needed me to come see him or something. So I went to meet him. He told me, the youths are already rallying. I need to shut this down now. Because everybody were from Lagos, some were from the east, and we were just passionate young people. We are serving God. We are going into the wild,
You're going to the ends of the earth.
I'm telling you, and at the end of the day, we had to shut it down. Looking back now, would it have caused a revival? Maybe. Would it? But I'm grateful for the time there.
The seeds have been sown.
Yes, I'm grateful for the time there. There were people that were even healed, because there are times when you do like the humanitarian service to them, and you know that this is not natural, and the parents allow. They try to minister healing, and prayers are going on. There's prayer chains and all that. But so now it shows that, as we have said, we have established that yes, there's a clear difference. So now coming to Lagos now, and meeting the fact, how did the Lagos factor affect the Christianity from the north?
I think the Ashantagri was still there. You know, the Ashantagri. No grief anybody was still there, because of the Muslim background that I had, and because I didn't get born again because I was attracted by the
glamour,
by the whatever, by whatever.
It was not light and sound that got you born again.
It was by reason of conviction. And there was a particular book that I read, Who is This Allah, by J.J. Mushi, that exposed a lot of things that were going on, and kind of answered some questions that I had, You know, as in, is Allah not the same God? Is it not the same God of the Bible? Is it not the same, you know? That book opened my eyes to a lot of things. So so the zeal was there, the passion was there, and it was the same whatever. When I came back to Lagos, that I attacked ministry and entered all of that. And when I came back to Lagos, I think I went to Trem for a bit, maybe a couple of months. And then that was when Rhema Chapel came to Lagos. And so they started the meeting in Yaba. And I went for the inaugural meeting, and that was how I became a Remite, you know. And from there, of course, the word level, which was what was lacking initially, you know, the word level really, really helped. One was built up by the word, you know, the fire and everything. And of course, you cannot be hearing the word like that now and not hear God. You have to hear God at some point now. So by 1991 was when Rhema started in Lagos. By 91, 92, I already knew that I was going to be a pastor. I already understood the call of God on my life. I already started getting instruction from God concerning the person I was going to marry, you know, like that. Even though I'm not a prophet, I don't have a prophetic gift. But of course, like I tell people, hearing and seeing are not necessarily attributes of a prophet. They are attributes of a Christian.
Of a believer.
Bible says this sign shall follow. Yeah. This sign shall follow. So you cannot be following if you're not hearing. You cannot be following if you're not seeing. You know, so I already started knowing what I was going to do by 1991. I already started doing. And I knew at that point too, that some of the things that God was talking to me about, I would need to be married to give me some kind of, I don't know, will you call it cover? I don't want to upset the feminists now. Will it be cover? Will it be authenticity?
Mommy, offend anybody you want to offend.
I shall know that I needed to be married. Plus the fact that as a young person, you know, the body too was doing twin every once in a while, and I knew that I needed to be married, you know, and I didn't want to be offending God in that be saying Holy Ghost were sorry, you know. So
you are not you are not covered by it. Is not Adam and it's not Adam and Steve. It's Adam and Eve.
Incidentally, my husband is says.
Shout out to Pastor Steve. Okay, so I guess we were touching on the fact that one of the way I met you first was I came looking for Pastor Steve, and it was just shocking how God just arranged the relationship and how over the years, because I think that was 2009. So it's technically 16 years that I've known you, man. And I can say that it has just grown from there on. So I want to bring you back into present day now. And I know that you pastor a vibrant church. And I know that it seems things are changing. I want to ask, how is pastoring in 2025 as to compare to when the church started?
Pastoring in 2025 will be, because one is pastoring millennials and Gen Zs now. And we know that they have their own peculiar language, they have their own unique code, they have their own, you know, characteristics. They are different. But you see, there are some people who are on the cusp, as in those who are 1996. One leg in millennial, one leg in Gen Z, one leg in Gen Z. You know, so you have the millennials, you have the Gen Zs, and then you have the alpha generation. You know, so what I've noticed in recent times is that people generally are not as committed as they used to be. Commitment levels have really declined. Commitment to the things of God. People are more surface level. They're more what's the word? Ephemeral? Is that the word now? They're more on the surface now. They're not. There's the depth. Yeah, depth is lacking. Depth, because people are there's too much distraction now. People are easily distracted. So because they're easily distracted, they don't pay attention. When we were growing up, you know, when we were growing up as Christians and when we started church newly, you know, there's a lot of emphasis on reading the word, emphasis on staying in the presence of God. There's a lot of emphasis on chasing God. But these days, people do not think that. They think that God should be the one that is chasing them. Which is why with that song that they sang, there's no mountain you won't climb up, no, you won't running after me. You know, it's kind of emphasizing or buttressing the fact that yes, God should be chasing after them. You know, so that's the major thing that I see. People are generally, I mean, not because of the Gen Zs and the millennials now are very mobile. They're very mobile. There's a lot of migration going around and all of that, you know. I mean, you two are a case in point. So you find a situation where people that have the fire, people that have the zeal, people that have the passion, are migrating. They're moving away from local churches into other regions and whatever. So what you now have that is left with you now are people that you have to now begin to start training them all over again, and it's a lot of work. That's it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because God is the same. It's only God that is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The people that were pastoring are not the same yesterday. They are not the same today, and they're not likely to be the same forever. They're not likely to be the same forever. So it's a, and their Gen Zs and the millennials are, their expectations are quite high. The expectations are quite high. They question a lot of things. They question a lot of things, and unlike our generation who would accept things without questioning, they question a lot of things. Even though our generation was the generation that were behaving like Berean Christians, that would go and investigate in the word if what the man of God said is so. These ones do not investigate the word. They are investigating whether the man of God is on point, whether he's correct, whether he's on God, whether it is this, whether it is that. So it's a different kettle of fish, but they ask. They delete the person, they cancel, that's the word. They cancel the person. So one has to constantly be in touch with the Spirit of God to lead his people in this day and age. You have to make sure that you're walking in step with the Spirit. Otherwise, they will confuse even you. The Bible says, let he that stands take heed, lest he falls. If you're not sure of what you're doing, they can rubbish you. They will rubbish you. They'll make it seem as if you don't know what you're doing. They make a nonsense of your calling if you're not careful. So, and of course, we're in the end times.
Yes, then I've noticed that there are a lot of young people. Yes, a lot of people are also. How have you been able to cope with church?
Again,
church shifting. Because church shifting is a thing. It's as though you see an average person now and you ask, how long have you been born again? The person tells you 5 years, but he has been to 5 denominations. Or you say 10 years.
People are very mobile. People are very mobile. Yeah, people are very mobile. They take the word that you are not a tree. Move. They take it to heart.
But
so they move at the slightest offense like this. They've moved. They don't have no consistency, no loyalty. And it's not just church. Even in the workplace, that's how it is. People are very, the rain that fell yesterday. I was caught in the rain yesterday. That's why I have a little sniffle. So I'm not coming in tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's not just church. It's not just, it's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. And that's why I said, if you're not walking in step with the Spirit and understanding you have to understand the noun word. You pastor with the noun word. Okay, if you're going to pastor with what was said yesterday, you might find yourself being left behind. So you have to pastor with the noun word. You go with the trends and understand what they're doing, maintaining your own authenticity, preserving your own space, your own Christianity. But you have to make sure that you are walking with the Spirit. Yeah, you're walking with the Spirit. Yeah, your convictions. Make sure that you're walking with the Spirit. That's the important thing.
Okay. So I think that's just the basics that we need to concentrate on hearing the noun word and in line with what is going on. Because I won't lie to you, if there's a passion I have, it's the fact that I feel evangelism is not as it used to be. I understand that spaces have shifted and the street now is on Twitter and it's on Instagram and it's on Facebook. And yes, you can do all you need to do on the media, but I still believe that if we are not careful.
Yeah. Now what you have is people are changing churches.
Generation Christians.
That's what they're doing now. So when you go out to evangelize, you find people there. People too. For instance, in our church, we evangelize every Sunday. We have a group that goes out one Sunday a month, to evangelize. And you find that sometimes when you go out on this evangelism drives, there are other churches too who are evangelizing. And you find a situation where you can see me talking to this person, But because you just must come and insert yourself in that conversation, from another denomination, you come in there and are giving the person the tract. And I'm thinking, a house divided against itself will not stand. So sometimes we ourselves, who call ourselves Christians, we ourselves who are the pastors, are the problem. We are the problem, because we're concerned about people generally these days are chasing entertainment, and we're feeding it. We're not insisting, on certain things because we don't want them not to come to church anymore. We don't want them to say that they are offended, they don't want to come to church. So we are trying to give them what they want. So we can't do that. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep feeding that entertainment, that distractive thing. We can't keep feeding it. So that's it's a challenge, really. It's a challenge. I tell people that when you go out to evangelize and you ask the person, do you know Jesus? And he says he's born again, please move on. Pray with him and just encourage him or her to be active in the church where they are serving.
Yes, or yes. You can just ask
to know what they believe. And then just if they say that you find out that they are born again, they've given their life to Christ, please find out what church they are worshiping and then ask them, are you serving there? Why don't you give back? Why don't you serve there? Get them to be integrated in their church family and then pray with them and move on. You might collect their number to invite them for special programs, but you do not need that person in your church because they're already in somebody else's church. But that is not what most people do. Just come to our church, come to our church, it's my pastor that has the word, the eternal word. It's only him that has the word revelation. Come to my church. That's what people are doing now, and it's a dog eats dog kind of situation, So it is well. It shouldn't be. It ought not to be.
And it shouldn't be. You see churches.
Have you not seen congregations where in a whole building? I've seen
churches in.
Timi, there's one whole church, one building like this that has 3 floors. There's a church on each floor. From the same denomination. From the same denomination. On each, but different provinces on each floor. Same denomination, but different province on each floor. So what are we saying now? What are we saying? We should gather all those efforts and let us go to the north. Let's go to the north.
I think that's the passion.
There are lots of unreached places that we're not going, but we are busy jostling for position, jostling for space among ourselves. Down south.
So, mommy, that north there. For we to break into that knot, we will need to be systemic. And systemic in the way that we need to infiltrate political power. We need to go into the communities and be leaders in that community. Because I give Kano as a case study. You are only allowed to have a church in Sabongeri or in no man's land. But every house literally has a mosque in front of it. But now they've restricted you to a region. In that region now, that is the same region that is allowed for beer parlors and the likes, because those are the places where you have people from the east, people from the west living. So, mommy, you see a church, and after the church, you see an hotel. You see a beer parlor, then you see another church. On a street, you might have 10 churches. Of course. Because there are churches there's churches in Kano. A lot. But they are just kiosks. This sharing borders.
Which is okay.
With beer parlors, with clubs and all that.
It's okay. Abi?
No, I don't have a problem with it. What I'm saying is, if we are not systemic,
but you see, we don't have to infiltrate them by having churches. We must not have a church. You must not have a church. Bible tells God does not tell us anywhere to go and open church now. What God said was to go and make disciples of all nations. You can make disciples of those in the brothel. You can make disciples of those in the beer parlor.
Yes.
And that's when you go and ask God now. If God is sending you to the brothels and sending you to the beer parlors, you ask him, how are you supposed to, what is your in? You'll ask him about that. The one that gave the work will give the matching the assignment, will give the strategy. What is your in?
Because if they give their life to Christ, they need to be disciples.
They don't have to go to church to be disciples. That's another thing. What were those in the underground church in China? Were they going to church? You know, church is where 2 or 3 are gathered now.
Well,
Abi?
Well,
as we are sitting down like this now, are we not having church? Are we not having church? You and I are gathered, plus the people that are helping us to do the technical part. Church, the better now. But me church. But it's because we feel that there must be a building, there must be a structure, there must be praise and worship, this. You see, it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that is where God is even bringing us to in this end time self. That's where God is taking us to. With all this migration and mobility and what, that's where God is taking this decentralizing church. Yes. Decentralizing, going back to fellowship, small groups. That is where we're going now. Small gatherings. Because it will be very, very sad. It will be very, very sad, and I'm not saying this to diss anybody. I'm not saying it because I'm not pastoring 10,000 people. But it will be very, very sad for a pastor of a 1,000 congregation to get to heaven, and of the 1,000 people, only 3 people are in heaven. That will be very sad. That will be a dismal failure for the pastor. Do you understand? So I think we should get back to being concerned about people, not about the numbers. About the people, not about the numbers. Yeah, about the people, not about the numbers. That 15 people came to church today, praise God. 15, yeah, are their lives changing? The 15, are they likely, if the trumpet sounds today, are they making heaven? That's the important thing.
How many?
That's the important thing. Not omobere, oshibere, forgive me.
How many out of the 15 were anointed by the Holy Ghost?
Just a quick one, mommy. Just help us say. This is Live Moments with Timi. I want you to watch. We had a nice conversation. Please like, share, subscribe to the
channel. This is Live Moments with Timi. Please like, share, subscribe. God bless you.
Live Moments with Timi. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody about it. Aha! Thank you very much. So, mommy, I want to thank you for having this conversation with us. I think we still need to touch more, because I would have wanted us to touch more about even some of the work that you do. Because thank God, one way or the other, I've done PA one time or maybe twice, and I've seen the great work you do with young people, and I would have loved to touch on it because I see that it's a passion for you. But anyhow, thank you for joining us on this episode.
Yeah, we'll do that another time.
Lovely time. Yes. Please, people, go and subscribe. You've heard it from all. People from First and
Abio, well done so much, Timi. God, you are doing a great work. You're doing a great work. You know, you've carved out a niche for yourself, and you're doing a great work. Allah, strengthen you. God will help you. In Jesus' name. God bless you. Thank you so much for having me. Okay. Let's do this again very soon. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.